Hi English students, this is Mrs. Peacock, and at this point we need to talk about the poetry essay. The poetry essay is a literary analysis essay, and a literary analysis essay is when you read a piece of literature, you're analyzing it as a reader and letting the reader know, the reader of your essay know what your interpretation of the work was. What did you get out of it? What do you think the significance of it is? You're analyzing certain aspects of the work and letting the reader know your perspective. And of course, every reader is going to bring in their own thoughts on each work based off your life experience or maybe some other things you've read in the past. And so that's what I really like about the literary analysis is as long as you have evidence from the work to support your argument, you can essentially argue whatever you want. There's a lot of creative freedom in that. So depending on which poem you want to write about or which combination of poems you want to write about, your essay can be pretty creative and interesting in your own perspective on the literature. Notice the rough draft is due Wednesday, July 12th by midnight. In discussions, remember you'll do peer review on those rough drafts. And then your final draft will be due 1 week later, Wednesday, July 19th by midnight, and that is the draft that I'm going to grade. This paper is worth 20% of your final grade, so a chunk of the grade, but not nearly as much as that research paper. Essay should be at least 800 words in length, so quite a bit shorter than that research paper. Also, the word count will count towards your, the word count on the works cited page does count towards your total word count. For formatting, it should be 12-point Times New Roman font, double space with MLA heading and style. And remember, page 192 in your Siegel textbook has an example of MLA for you to use as a guide. You must have a works cited page with the literary works cited, but notice on the second page of this, I've cited all of the poems, so you can use this on your works cited page. You can literally copy and paste the citations, but you will only include the citations of the works that you're writing about. So for instance, if you write specifically about My Last Duchess and that's the only one you focus on, you'll just have that one citation on your works cited page. But if you want to compare and contrast My Last Duchess with My Mistress's Eyes Are Nothing Like the Sun, then you would have those two citations on your works cited page. So I think you guys get the point, but if you have any questions, please let me know. But I've already provided your works cited page for you. Also notice there's no outside sources, and I'll explain why. I don't want to know what this website says about these works. I want to know what you think about them. Every reader is going to bring in their own unique perspective, and I want to know your thoughts on this literature. Not the same SparkNotes websites that I've seen a million times. I'd rather know your thoughts. So no outside sources are allowed on this assignment. I want to make sure that you only use the literature and your own ideas in this paper. For topic ideas, I've listed some options for you to pull from. Imagery, themes, love. Of course, multiple of these poems have to do with love. How the author's message is or is not relevant today, depending on your perspective. You could argue that the poems do apply to modern day love or modern day ideas, or they may not at all. It just depends on your perspective. You can also focus on settings or symbolism or nature. Of course, these are just some ideas as jumping off points. You certainly don't have to cover only these. If you have your own thoughts about an angle you want to take, you can let me know. Or also notice you'll have the outline in the discussion board that I'll look over as well for these. Just like we did with the research paper, I like to do the topic, proposal, and outline assignment. So that way I can get an idea of how you want to organize your thoughts and what direction you're taking this paper. I've listed the poems we've covered and the page numbers in the Norton textbook right here under literature options. And just like with the other paper, there is a final draft late submission rule. It's 10 points off every day late, but as long as you turn in your final drafts July 19th or earlier, you're going to be fine. You won't have to have any late submission points taken off. Also notice all your final drafts are going to be graded using the same grading rubric that's listed on the Getting Started page and will be scanned with anti-plagiarism software. So just make sure that your essay you turn in is your essay and not one you've bought online. Also notice you don't need to have any outside sources, so I don't need to see anything from an outside source in the plagiarism checker. And I've got a spot at the bottom for you to do the brainstorming and outlining. You're not required to do that, but some students like to have a spot just to write out some of their ideas before they get started. Please let me know if you have any questions about this assignment. I'm happy to help. Also, don't forget we have a fantastic writing center with tutors who can tutor you online or in person on this writing assignment, and they know what I'm expecting. They've worked with my students for so many years at this point that they know how to guide you in the right direction. So I'm here to help you. Our writing center tutors are here to help you, and please let me know if you have any questions whatsoever. Have a wonderful day.